Yes, it's very stressful. It is. I just don't know what to do.
On a Friday in Adams County, a courtroom fills with defendants and confusion. They know they're supposed to be here, even if it's not entirely clear why.
I am very surprised. I was swept off my feet about it.
In the hallway, I find Angela. This notice says she owes $2,700, all for a 3-year-old medical bill she tells me she didn't even know she owed until she was sued.
For some reason, they're suing me, and I've never seen any bills about it, any itemized bills about it.
Back inside, we see a line form. A clerk tells the defendants they need to meet with a stranger. It's not clear they know that stranger is an attorney suing them. It's debt collection day, and the only lawyers here represent the debt collectors.
People are kind of on their own in these situations.
Yes, and they flounder on their own.
Attorneys like Matt Aguero try to help people like these, but he admits the amounts routinely sought, $500 to $5,000, make it impractical to hire legal representation.
That's the sweet spot for the debt collection companies, because that's exactly where they know nobody's fighting back at this amount.
Okay.
Angela's case is like a few here, tied to a business she does not know.
I'm here because a credit service company is suing me for a hospital bill that I've never seen any proof of.
Credit Service Company, or CSC.
Are you Caroline?
Yes. Caroline Sada represents CSC in court, a company our investigation found sued more than 1,500 people last year. I asked Caroline just who owns this debt of people like Angela.
Oh, no, credit service company doesn't buy that.
Doesn't buy debt.
Right.
A critical answer, because as we found, when CSC sues people, it does so on behalf of another business that does own the debt. Today, that business is UC Health.
Our job is to stay out of the courts.
UC Health's chief legal officer insists the hospital giant doesn't like to sue patients. But we found in 5 years, it's still sued more than 15,000, an average of 8 per day, year after year after year.
Why continue to do this?
We do not want to end up in court. Our goal is to work with patients.
When it no longer wants to work with patients, as we first uncovered, UC Health sues them, not under its name, but under the name of a debt collection company like CSC.
They served my daughters while I was sleeping at night, one night.
Why were you sleeping?
Because I had to go to work.
CSC served Kathy Wood Sullivan months after Kathy's husband died, and years after she went to a UC Health ER.
They just told me I was having a panic attack.
And you left?
Yes, sir.
And then you had another panic attack.
Yes.
That, when the bill arrived, $1,600, all for a claim she thought her insurance had long ago paid.
But you thought that bill was taken care of?
I did.
And it wasn't?
No.
Adding to her confusion, why was CSC the plaintiff in her case, not UC Health?
They told me there was nothing they can do. I went back twice to see if I can get someone else. I was on my own.
On her own and unable to pay, she went to a pawn shop to sell her late husband's gift to her.
I sold my wedding ring to pay it off.
I can't imagine that was an easy decision.
It was the hardest decision, and I think about that every day.
It's fair to ask why you should do it in the first place.
David Seligman is now helping Kathy return the favor in this lawsuit against CSC. They argue if UC Health wants to do this, it must face the public relations consequences of suing its patients by suing under its own name.
In our perspective, a fundamental black letter principle of law. If it's your debt, you put your name on the lawsuit.
Due to that litigation, CSC elected not to comment for our story. Not so for people like Angela, who say they have no way to pay the debt CSC says they owe.
Absolutely not.
Alone and unrepresented, she faces difficult odds. At least she showed. We found most don't. More than 2/3 of the CSC lawsuits we tracked ended in what's known as a default judgment.
What's a default judgment?
It's where you don't show up, where you're sued and you don't respond or show up to the court date, and the court will enter a judgment against you based on the pleadings filed by the plaintiff.
Matt Aguero says when that happens, things like wage garnishments can begin.
It seems like the Wild West.
It's really, I feel the opposite. I feel like this is very surgically orchestrated by lobbyists and the powers that be to make sure that people cannot defend themselves.
Intentional or not, it's clearly confusing. Just another day inside the state's courts.
I would love to tell you, we're going to make this fair, we're going to make this right, but that's not the world we live in. That doesn't happen. And so, yeah, it sucks.